Hello, hello. It's been a while since I uploaded anything like this on the channel, but this is going to be a little guide for Verlet Swing. I'm gonna assume anyone watching this has already done all of the perfect runs, all of the other challenges probably, aside from the Bird's Legacy and the Hardcore Marathon, and those are both going to be in this video. Now, we're starting out with the regular marathon here in under 20 minutes. It used to be under 15, but now it's under 20, so you can get away with a shitty 19-minute run like I did. And most of this is pretty self-explanatory, but I really wanted to do a voiceover because there's some stuff in particular that's very much not self-explanatory. So I'm probably going to just be watching this video and sort of commenting on anything that you might not pick up just from watching the video. This game is very, very movement dependent in the sense that you can watch a video and you can see where someone's grappling, but that doesn't necessarily tell you all of the stuff that's going on with the movement controls. In my case, that's the left stick on the controller or the keys on the keyboard, since I am a controller scrub. And most of this first world is, this first world is very self-explanatory, especially if you've already got experience with the game. There's nothing strange going on here. But later levels do have a lot of little techniques and little quirks that you kind of have to know what's going on, and I was very frustrated with this game many times watching runs by other people and not being able to figure out exactly what they were doing movement-wise, since there's no input display or anything for the movement controls. And some of them are not exactly intuitive. While there's downtime, I'm just going to start talking about it right now before I have to comment on any specific levels. There are some techniques you really have to master, especially if you want to do hardcore marathon. Regular marathon, the leeway is so big with that 5 minutes they added to it, that you can get away with a lot of shit. But hardcore marathon, you really just have to learn a bunch of stuff. I'll be putting that at the end of the video, after the regular marathon. And since I did regular marathon first, my strategies were pretty rudimentary for most of the later levels. That's my first death right there. Not very costly. But learning hardcore marathon, I really had to develop proper strategies for those later levels that were actually super consistent. And you're gonna see a lot of those World 5 levels or World 4 levels even. My strategies in the regular marathon are just terrible. Just terrible. So if you do want good strategies for the game overall, you should definitely be watching both of these runs, because some of those levels I really just had to sit down and work out very specific things for, and I did not do that until I got to hardcore. So I would not use any of the strategies used in this run for hardcore marathon. That would be very irresponsible. Well, some of them are fine, I suppose, but a lot of them I did really just refine, and I wish I had those strategies when I was doing Bird's Legacy. Again, see, even we're halfway through World 2 soon, and still most of these strategies you can just understand just by watching them. There's not anything strange going on. There's gonna be levels where there are strange things going on, in the sense of for example, there's levels later on where you have to hold the stick in very specific ways when you're starting the level, or levels where you have to hold the stick back really hard instead of forward, or even there's this particular trick that I don't use in this run, but that I developed for level, what is it, 90, well, whatever, Thorns. There's a level called Thorns that I had a lot of problems with in hardcore, that I had to develop I had to discover something within the game. Oh yeah, I grabbed the wrong ball here. Classic. This level's kind of a pain. There's a thing in the game where you can, if you look down, straight down, every player knows that you gain more speed in the direction that you're looking as long as you're going in that direction. So if you hold forward while you're looking up, you'll get more upwards momentum. If you hold forward looking down, you'll fall faster. Like, it sounds kind of intuitive, but it's really not. It gets very strange, and it's very easy to forget about it. But if you want to do those really, really, really big swings that you have to in some levels, you do want to like always be looking exactly in the direction you're moving. So you want to like trace your camera like down as you're going down, and then like move it up as you're moving up. And what they don't tell you in Verlet School about that is that you can look down farther than like straight down in this game. Like if you're playing on a controller, you can hold the stick and like keep looking, so you're kind of looking like diagonally behind you, downwards. It's kind of hard to visualize it, but just try it for yourself if you're playing the game. You'll see what I mean. You can look farther down than you think, and that gives you like extra downward momentum if you're looking down while you're... If you're looking extra down, so to speak, while you're moving downwards, you get a lot of extra downward momentum. Like unbelievable amounts of speed. And that is very beneficial on small swings where you want to swing really high. So on thorns, for example, if you want to do the big skip, which most people do use because it's easier than the regular level, you want to be looking... Well, depending on how your swing looks. We'll talk about it when we get to that level, but it's gonna be over in like a split second, so I won't really have time to like explain it. But just keep that in mind. It's very important. It's a very important technique to just have in the back pocket. So again, we're through World 2 here, and World 2, there are some levels that I don't like, but you can just watch and see what I do. World 3 is really where it starts to need, like, you start to kind of need setups for some levels, if you want to do them consistently and decently fast. I don't use the under-the-table strategy here, I just go over. Here, like, because World 3 introduces so many moving objects, that's the big problem with it, moving meatballs, etc. And those can cause some issues with exactly how to like optimize levels. Like this one is a perfect example. You grab the meatball to start with here, you kind of hold the stick right, and then you wait and grab that meatball. And it's like, which meatball is it? You gotta remember. You gotta remember where they come from, you gotta remember what it looks like. This one, a big swing off of this one, and then wait a really long time for this meatball to show up in front of you, and that will almost always... Well, not in that case, but almost always carry you perfectly into the end. This one, you can grab the meatball from really, really, really far away like that, and then grab a few other ones to sort of gently bring you up to the goal without touching any other meatballs. Of course, I fuck it up here. I actually don't remember where all the deaths are in this run because it was such a long time ago now. Hardcore just consumed me. I've repressed any memories of regular marathon. Yeah, that's a lot better. I've died on this level before, but you should never die on this. In fact, like, this is a super, super slow way to do it. This one gave me a lot of trouble before I figured out how to do it, and again, it's mostly because it's so disorienting. There's so many moving objects. Any level with a ton of moving objects tend to cause me issues. This one, you just wait and grab any of the meatballs going up. You can just hold grapple, get kind of in the center of the screen, and it will just hit that meatball, and it usually just works. Just as long as you let go really early, so you don't get flung like way above the goal. This is a good level to sort of look at your timer and see how good your run is so far. For me, that was around 7-8 minutes at this point. But you can put that cutoff wherever you want. Since it's level 50, it's like... Technically level 51, I guess, is halfway, but I would use the actual level 50 to gauge how well I was doing. This is one that I always mess up the good strategy on, so I just use 2 swings for this. You can do it in 1 swing if you're good at it. Pizza Tunnel, I'd hate to look at this level now because I've looked at it so much in Hardcore Marathon, but everyone knows this level's inconsistent and glitchy with the grapples. But yeah, when it works, it works. Classic strategy here. This is just a big, easy level. It looks intimidating, but it's not. Classic strategy here too. It's actually kind of nostalgic for me to look at these levels now that are in hardcore and looking at like an older video of me playing the same levels and how bad I was at them. Because now we're over halfway into the run, so a lot of the levels coming up are going to be Hardcore Marathon levels. And I think I'm gonna be cringing a lot here, just looking at like all these World 5 levels that I have like no mastery off in this video, but then we'll get to Hardcore. I won't be doing a voiceover for Hardcore because that video already has voiceover because it's a streamed video where I was talking. It's not really talking about anything important, it's just talking shit with my friend, but I still want to leave that video like in its pure state, so I'm going to try to talk about the levels during this run instead, and you'll have to sort of just look at it. So this is really embarrassing, obviously. I didn't even remember I had a bunch of deaths on this level. So this level is also in hardcore, and I clearly at this point I did not have my strategy for this worked out like at all. This is so bad compared to how I do it now. This is a level I really, really hate as well. But this strategy works most of the time. You just have to make sure it doesn't like accidentally grab onto a fork or something, because that tends to happen a lot. This level, again, I was so bad at this back then. I used the wrong initial grapple spot there. Oh, man, it's terrible to look at. It's disgraceful. And I'm still bad at this level to this day. Okay, we're into World 4 now. World 4 tends, I think overall, it's easier than World 3. Because World 3 has so many levels where you just have to remember like a bunch of moving objects. You have to remember like, oh, which meatball do I grab onto, or a lot of these starting position things. World 4, I think it's just overall easier. It's a lot of levels where it's like one swing and you're done. It's not a ton of moving objects, and when there are moving objects, they're like more consistent. Like this, they're just kind of in place, like rotating. It's not really anything complicated. Memory access, another hardcore level. This level has killed more runs than I care to admit in hardcore, because it's just weird. It can change a lot depending. Like if you get a weird start, the second half of the level is just going to be all out of whack. It's just one you kind of have to learn. It's not complicated at all, but it's a thing. Easy level that I make way more complicated than it should be. I think I'm sitting here deciding, oh, do I want to do the fast strat or not? Fast strat on this level is you grab on that moving hand to the right. Yeah, and then you fuck it up because you're trying to be cool. And that was like sort of okay. First level in the Spear trilogy. This is what I'm talking about, these kinds of levels where it's like you just swing up to the end and there you go. World 4 in a nutshell. Well, actually this one's an even better example, because this is literally just one swing and you're done. I was looking at the timeline on the video before I started recording my voiceover, and I was like, this is a 19-minute run, why is the video like 20-something minutes? But I understand now, it's because I constantly do these little pauses before I start levels, because they kind of add up. This level's important. You grab the rocket and then you hold, like, down. You have to look down or you'll hit the wall. To look down and hold forward. Sorry, I shouldn't have said hold down, I should have said look down and hold forward. And that way you'll be ahead of all those obstacles. It's a really nice trick, it makes the level completely free. This one I did not used to have a good strategy for, and you'll see Yeah, I used to do that in such a bad way. Singularity, I don't do this in the fast way here. I guess I should say, like, oh wow, I did not even remember I messed that up. I should say, most of my most of my regular marathon strategies are not even going to give you, like, a perfect run. They're not going to give you 4 kettles. They're just designed to be, like, somewhat fast and more consistent than anything. Consistent for me, anyway. Like, if you can do a fast strat consistently that I don't use in this video, then by all means, right? You go ahead, but I think most of the strategies I use are pretty not beginner friendly, but beginner for marathon friendly. I'm still assuming you've done all the perfect runs normally. That level, the one we just had, what, boxed in or whatever it's called, boxing. That one, I don't use that over the wall strategy for hardcore because I'm not that consistent at it. I use, like, pretty much the regular method for the level. But you'll do as you want on it. For that one that we just saw, you grab onto the rocket and then you want to go back and look at it. I let go exactly as this one arcade machine on the left kind of moves out of my camera. That's my visual cue for letting go, and you'll kind of just have to practice that. It's very consistent once you get it down, though. This one I did not have the strategy worked out. This one you hold right at the start of the level, and then you grab, like, yeah. You'll see that in the hardcore one, though. Well, you won't, because you won't see me holding right, but that's what I do there. Say that right now. Messing up on Tunnel 3, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. I did not have my strategy, like, fully developed for this yet, but this is the strategy. It's, yeah, it's the first swing and then the arcade machine and then green and blue things. This is a level I always forget it exists. It's very non-level. It's actually a good way to do it. This one I struggled with for a long time. The method for this, it is consistent, but you kind of have to learn. Like, you go down and then you hold up, and then you can do it like this, but that's risky. That's very risky, actually. It doesn't look risky, but it is. For hardcore, you'll see how I do it now. This one hasn't changed. You just have to learn exactly where that orb is, because it's very easy to miss it. I've done it many times. Like, you have to practice the shit out of collapse. It looks so easy and it feels so easy when you get it, but it's also very easy to just totally fuck up. This is not the safe strat, but it is the somewhat fast strat. You'll see the safe strat for that as well in hardcore. This one, you want to hold right at the start, like pretty hard right at the start to be able to get through here. Sticks in a hole you have to practice the shit out of as well. This level can do so many weird things to you. You kind of see it here actually, since I die a few times. But you do not want to die here in hardcore. Like, it's such a pain in the ass if you die here. Oh, okay, so thorns. I actually forget exactly what this looks like for me in marathon, but you have to pretty much learn this skip. I don't think oh, I got it first try. Wow, that did not look like a swing that should have made it through. Most of the time in hardcore I do like a really big swing, and then I do the technique where you look down farther than the game should let you to gain huge amounts of speed and make it actually sort of consistent. Thorns for me was probably the hardest levels in the game outside of 100. But you'll just have to practice it and figure out what works and what doesn't. Depths, this is the level where you're gonna think it's really hard at first. I thought this was really hard at first, and it kind of gauges how your overall control of the game is. If you keep dying on this level, you probably don't have like you know, your movement and your aim probably isn't like as good as it needs to be if you keep dying on this level, as you can see with me here. Like, that is very I don't know, that's very wonky. This level, you can do the look down there and then swing your all the way up. If you do the super look down there, you can make that totally consistent. Rock skipping. I did not have my good strategy worked out for this. Do not do this in hardcore. Watch what I do in hardcore and do that instead, because this final swing here, that is super risky to do what I just did. You want to do it a different way. Kind of same for this one. I have a slow strat that I use for this now, which is maybe not great for regular marathon since you want to be kind of fast. For this one, you want to do these like fast kind of tap swings, and you want to be holding back really hard while you're doing it. You do not want to hold forward like at any time while you're inside the goat. Crevice, everyone hates this level, it's a shit level, but there is a way to make this level almost totally consistent. Believe it or not, and it is definitely not the way I do it here. Absolutely not the way I do it here. Watch the hardcore run and you'll see the baby strat for this level. It is a thing to behold how pathetically slow I do this level. And you might not even understand how can you possibly do this level in a slow way. Isn't this just a run killer? No, it's not. It's actually not. Once you learn the slow way to do this level, you'll probably not be that scared of it anymore. Because I was terrified of this level for a long time. As you can see, it's like it takes like 4 runs to get it there. Doom, just be wary of how close that second orb is to the ground. It's hard. It's easy to misgauge it and just, yeah, and hit the ground. Don't overswing on the first swing. Don't let that orb in the back there fuck you up. It's very easy to get an orb glitch there where it grabs the wrong orb. I think I used the good strat for this in this video, because I could never get consistent at like the really fast strategy for this one where you swing and like you swing over to the right away. I always use this kind of safe-ish strat where you sit on this orb here for a while. You want to be holding back here, and then you see that pointy rock. Well, you probably can't. Probably didn't have time to see it, but you'll get to see it now since I died. You want to be holding back on that orb and just wait there. Not for too long, obviously, but there's a pointy rock over there that the saw blades kind of pass, and the moment my saw blade that I've decided on passes that rock, I swing, and then I just do this beautiful swing through everything. Just practice it. Just practice this one too. There's a visual cue for this, but it's hard to explain. You have to hold back a little bit at the start, and then do that big swing. 98. Everyone's super scared of this one at the start, obviously, because it tests things that you're not normally probably that used to in this game. They suddenly require you to have like way more air control than you probably ever have had to display before. But this is the fucking... This is the safest way I've come up with, is to just take it really slow and only use never use those middle pillars. They are killers. Like, aside from that one at the end, you can use that one, but other than that, don't use the middle pillars. They will mess you up. Just use the ones that are actually connected to the gates, if you will. Elevator 2, you have to practice this level a lot. Mainly because it's so late into the hardcore run, you do not want to ever die here. But just figuring out like those 2 first swings, how to set them up properly, so that you don't get launched into the rocks and you don't get launched way too low, so you can actually grab that really high up orb without any worries. And here we are at Sorry. So I do die here, I think, at least once or twice in this run. Well, maybe even 3 times, I don't remember. But Sorry has so many little intricacies to it, I would need like an entire video to explain everything. This is the one level I really wish I had an input display for, because like you hold left, you hold right, and you circle the stick around. Like, the way you circle the stick around for that one swing is so crucial to master, and it's so hard to explain, and it will click with you eventually once you've done it a bunch of times. But I mean, I was never, like, super consistent at the crack, getting through the crack, which is the hardest part of the level, like, by far, in my opinion. There is a way to skip this entire crack section, but I would not recommend it to anyone. Now, there's also a way to skip the, sort of, those life preserver, the life preserver part later on, inner tubes, but I probably also would not recommend that. Like, you can do a really big swing off of the life preservers, like a really big swing, and swing all the way over that tunnel, and you'll land sort of in near the end of the level. But the landing from that, you have to do this weird strat where you grab one of the statue heads, and you'll be coming down with such speed that it's really scary. So I pretty much just do it the normal way, but at least you get to see a few failures here. And I don't do the good strat for the crack. The good strat for the crack, you have to learn this, is when you swing in there, you want to be a little bit to the right, because the crack sort of curves to the left, and you want to move just a slight, you want to approach it slightly from the right, just a tiny tad little bit from the right, and it's so much more consistent that way, because approaching it from like straight on, it looks really thin, and it is really thin, and you might even have to like adjust a little bit in the middle of the crack, and that's terrible. So approach it sort of from the right. You'll see what I mean once you start doing it. It's way better. And then the rest of the level is relatively kind of self-explanatory. Yeah. Ask me if you have any questions. I don't know. That was a lot I can't talk about, but yeah. And watch the hardcore run right after this to get better strats for all of these later levels. Thank you. See you later.
All apart, so I clicked the wall. Hello, game.
I think the translocator launcher upgrade is just like thing you buy from the kind of off.
I probably can't get it. Just bolt all the way to the right. Wait, is it in here? Oh, I got it. I just went all the way to the right and used the like the metal bolt that had all the coins around it.
Dude, that shit
And
was
for
so glitchy for me. Those fucking bolts refused to magnetize like so many times. I got so fucking angry.
Just scaling the wall, I thought was like the most annoying part of that. Whatever. Oh, we got a double jump now.
I think I've figured out what makes thorns work and what doesn't. I think I understand now.
Didn't she say that like several days
Shut
ago?
the fuck. I probably said
did,
that.
didn't
I
you?
probably said that many times, but I think I finally really like comprehend the physics that work there.
Silly Toby.
There's a thing I do now that seems to be working, but that seems to have happened multiple times now that it stops working.
What's in the pot of the rainbow, whatever, pot this time?
Chest in there, some trash. A bit more annoying to get into.
Oh, it's just a big coin. Getting out of the bucket at some point.
Oh yeah.
Jesus fucking hell. Okay, it didn't even register my purple beam. Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay, finally. Oh, I left the level. Didn't even know. Apparently I haven't been here before.
Yeah, that's a little like.
So just to kill the enemies or what? Oh, there's like other stuff.
Yeah, but there's tons of shit like underground. There's like this just long ass puzzle section with all the. That's where all the trophies are at. There's an achievement for getting all the trophies. Like actual physical like golden trophies. I did not like those puzzles very much. It's very complicated sequence of stuff. It's kind of cool, but it's not really what I would call fun.
Oh, leave it.
Yes! Oh my god!
You do it?
Oh, fucking free, dude! Oh my god!
Fuck yeah, dude.
Free.
Let's fucking go.
Oh my fucking Jesus Christ!
Third time really was the charm, huh?
Dude, I can't fucking believe I had no chokes on the crack. That's fucked up.
0 deaths on the crack. 0.
That's the fuck you to this game. Holy shit. Oh, I gotta play the song. I gotta play the song. It's been so long
I had
since
no
played
idea
this
you were
fucking
even
song.
on.
No, well, I've been quiet. What do you think I was doing?
Oh no, you were still talking to me.
I was pulling a Sporal where you talked right up until the fucking end of it. But oh, what's it called? It's been so long, I forgot what the fucking song is called. There it is. Oh, it's classic. You know we gotta play this.
Hurry, baby.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, it was so clean too. That's like that run had like everything I want, man. It's in the sense of like it'd make a great like demonstration video for like a tutorial. Oh, fuck yes.